This is the Qtv Nightly News, which is also on Q Radio 103.3 FM, and I am Jacqueline Coley. Thank you for joining us. Here are the headlines. The Economic Community of West African States, Ecowas, held a field awareness campaign with stakeholders and officially launched its Ecowas School Clubs initiative in the Gambia. After months of intensive training, 15 officials from across West Africa have graduated from a regional fellowship aimed at strengthening preparedness for health emergencies. The Gambia Agriculture and Food Security Project under the Ministry of Agriculture handed over 13 cargo tricycles to women vegetable gardeners and food aggregators in the country. The Rotary Club of Banjul on Friday held its annual handover ceremony to honor its outgoing leadership and usher in a new leadership team while celebrating a year of impactful service and strengthening fellowship among members. In international news, the world today marks International Day of Cooperatives, highlighting the vital role cooperatives play in building peaceful, inclusive, and sustainable societies. Those were the headlines. Now the news in detail. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, on Friday held a field awareness campaign with stakeholders and officially launched its ECOWAS School Clubs initiative in the Gambia to educate young people about regional integration, peace and development. More in this report by Afa Tugay.
ECOWAS is a response to failed continental unity. When Lumumba was killed, Nkrumah overthrown, the subject of African unity became marginalized.
Implemented by Forward Limited, the program aims to increase awareness of ECOWAS among young Gambians by highlighting opportunities in trade, free movement, employment, infrastructure, energy and cross-border business. Veteran Gambian statesman Honorable Halifa Sallah called for greater unity across the region and warned against misinformation, saying it can weaken regional cooperation.
ECOWAS is not simply a loose organization of states, but is designed to be a cooperative state.
The campaign encourages students, youth leaders, and schools to promote peace, unity, sustainable development, and active participation in regional integration. ECOWAS country representative Meata Lily French explained the purpose of the ECOWAS school clubs and the importance of engaging young people in the region's development.
So why the school clubs? Building ECOWAS of the peoples from the classrooms up. A launch is never just about a plaque, a banner, or a photo. It is building a foundation. And today, in the Gambia, we're pouring concrete into a foundation that I believe will outlive all of us in this room.
Dr. Ismaila Cisse, the Minister of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services, says the clubs will help young people better understand ECOWAS while promoting peace, regional integration, and responsible citizenship.
I urge young people to take ownership of the ECOWAS vision, and that vision is integration.
Aissata Chamdrame is the Chief Executive Officer and founder of Forward Limited.
Over the past weeks, our team have met young people across Banjul, Serekunda, and Birkama. We spoke with you about ECOWAS's mandate. We listened to your questions about movement, trade, jobs, and identity. And we saw something powerful. We saw curiosity, ambition, and the desire to be a part of something bigger than one border.
Mahmoudou Sambu, a teacher at St. Augustine Senior Secondary School, welcomed the initiative, describing it as an important platform for teaching students about regional integration and citizenship.
Like I said earlier in the room, that ECOWAS should move from ECOWAS of a community of states to ECOWAS to a community of people, where Gambians see themselves as Senegalese, Malians see themselves as Ivorian, and it goes beyond our artificial borders.
The Gambia is the first country to pilot the ECOWAS School Clubs initiative. If successful, The program will be expanded to other Ecowas member states. The initiative supports Ecowas Vision 2050, which aims to build an Ecowas of peace and prosperity for all. By empowering young people to contribute to regional development, a similar initiative has now been launched in Senegal. Reporting for Qtv News, this is Yafatu Gay.
After months of intensive training, 15 officials from across West Africa have graduated from a regional fellowship aimed at strengthening preparedness for health emergencies. The program equips participants with practical skills to better respond to disease outbreaks and other public health threats. Julden Jaya has more.
Health officials from the Gambia, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Guinea, Nigeria, Liberia, Togo and Burkina Faso have graduated from the second cohort of the West African Fellowship on Public Health Emergency Preparedness, Response and Recovery. The ceremony marked the successful completion of a 3-month capacity-building program designed to strengthen emergency preparedness and response across the sub-region. Throughout the fellowship, participants received practical training in emergency preparedness, disease surveillance, outbreak investigation, incident management, risk communication and recovery planning, enhancing their capacity to respond to public health emergencies. Dr. Yusufa Toure, Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Health, says the fellowship strengthens the Gambia's role within the West African sub-region and contributes to collective health security against emerging threats.
So as a country, we have faced public health challenges that tested our resilience. Today, we reaffirm our commitment to building systems that are proactive rather than reactive.
Boubacar Jallo, health specialist at UNICEF Gambia, congratulated the fellows and reaffirmed UNICEF's commitment to working with the government and development partners to ensure every child and community is protected from the impact of health emergencies.
The lessons of recent years have reminded us that public health emergencies can emerge rapidly and affect every aspect of society. Effective preparedness, timely response, and resilient recovery are essential to safeguard lives, especially those of children, women, and vulnerable populations.
Dr. Katin Victory, West Africa Regional Coordinator and Senior Epidemiologist at the US CDC, says the fellows are now equipped to support both national and international emergency responses. He encouraged them to serve as good ambassadors and reaffirmed the CDC's commitment to strengthening the region's public health workforce.
We noticed that many people deployed and there were lack of surge responders for many outbreaks. Future outbreaks, current outbreaks including Mpox, Lassa fever, measles, and other outbreaks across the regions, we need a strong, dedicated core of epidemiologists as well as surge responders.
Dr. Komi Akliku, a fellow from Togo, and Dr. Husseinatou Diallo, a fellow from Guinea, who also emerged as valedictorians, thanked USCDC and its partners for the support, saying the fellowship had enhanced their knowledge and preparedness to respond to health emergencies. The program also promotes regional collaboration by creating opportunities for health officials to share experiences and strengthen coordination in responding to cross-border public health threats. Reporting for QTV News, I am Julden Yai.
The Gambia Agriculture and Food Security Project under the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock and Food Security handed over 13 cargo tricycles to women vegetable gardeners and food aggregators to improve agricultural productivity and food security across the Gambia. Mam Naboka witnessed the event and filed this report.
The event, which took place at the Regional Agricultural Directorate in Yundum, brought together regional agricultural leaders, government officials, representatives from the 10 benefiting rural communities, aggregators and other key partners to mark a strategic shift towards solving the country's severe farm-to-market transit deficit. For years, Smallholder farmers, 95% of whom are women, have struggled to move farm produce from their fields to local markets for commercial gain, leading to high volumes of fresh produce rotting or losing value before ever reaching a buyer, wiping out months of hard labor. Momodu Sow, project director of the Gambia Agriculture and Food Security Project, shed light on how the deployment of the 13 cargo tricycles, 10 of which will go to women gardeners across 10 rural communities, intends to solve this problem. And Mustafa Minte, Director of Agricultural Engineering Services in the West Coast region, expanded on maintenance.
These tricycles you see here are mainly supporting vegetable gardens that are off the road to facilitate the marketing of produce and, of course, contribute in reduction of post-harvest loss, and also not only marketing, but also facilitate getting in inputs on timely manner.
We are committed to helping these beneficiaries to make the best use of these machines, no matter where they are, because we have regional representation across the country. So we'll be there to help them in keeping the tricycles running.
Beyond local markets, 3 of the tricycles will be allocated to aggregators who are central to the nation's homegrown school feeding program and support for small and medium enterprises. Mamour Aliou Jan, coordinator of the Central Projects Coordinating Unit at the Ministry of Agriculture, and Ambassador Alhaji Nyangado, permanent secretary, declared this a significant step toward improving livelihoods across the Gambia.
The quality of the produce that is supplied improves automatically because it gets there quicker before it perishes. And hopefully with that, our producers can get good prices and our school children good nutrition.
We will continue working with all stakeholders to improve barriers that limit agricultural productivity and rural economic growth.
Ndei Job, a gardener from Lower Salom in the Central River region, shed light on what benefiting from this initiative means to her and her community.
We are increasingly happy and grateful because we have wanted this for a very long time, but could not afford it on our own. Our community is far from the main road, so after harvesting our gardens, we struggle to transport the produce to the market, and much of it ends up rotting. Receiving this tricycle today is a true blessing for us.
The Global Agriculture and Food Security Program has since its inception been a cornerstone initiative in the Gambia, working to alleviate extreme rural poverty, reduce food insecurity, and build climate resilience across the country's highly vulnerable agricultural sector. Today, it stands to be the biggest driver of rural economic and agricultural growth in the Gambia. Mamna Buka, reporting for QTV News.
We will now go for a commercial break. When we return, we have more national, international, and sports news stories. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching QTV News, and I'm Jacqueline Coley. Now, the Rotary Club of Banjul on Friday held its annual handover ceremony to honor its outgoing leadership and usher in a new leadership team. The event also brought together Rotarians and friends to celebrate a year of impactful services and strengthen fellowship among members. Mam Nabuka tells us more.
For nearly 5 decades, the Rotary Club of Banjul has stood as a cornerstone of civic service in the Gambia, consistently mobilizing resources to address systemic challenges in health, education, and basic infrastructure. This transition ceremony offered a moment to reflect on this core mission, providing an opportunity for Rotarians to reaffirm their commitment to community development and also recognize the impact and achievements of the outgoing leadership championed by Daudondur. These include the commissioning of a $5 million clean water project in Esau Newtown, the funding of rural boreholes, and the provision of learning materials for students through the club's 46th anniversary gala, the launch of a year-long menstrual hygiene campaign for schoolgirls, and support for grassroots youth empowerment through sports kit donations, among many other development initiatives. Rohi Kagbo, the club's former president for 2024, commended the outgoing leadership for its outstanding contributions and welcomed the new leadership with words of encouragement and support.
To the outgoing president and board, I say thank you for your services above self. Thank you for the foundation that you have laid. And to all members of the Rotary Club of Banjul, I thank you all for your commitments that makes the club what it is today. To our incoming president, I wish you strength, creativity, and a strong, engaged team that will support you to accomplish your tasks. May your mandate be marked by growth, meaningful projects, and unforgettable fellowship.
Incoming President Lamin Keita shared an account of how his Rotary journey began after being inspired by the organization's commitment to humanitarian service, and outlined his vision for sustaining and building on this momentum during his tenure as president.
The Rotary network comprises approximately 45,000 clubs worldwide. Rotary gives people the opportunity not only to make a difference in their communities, but also to grow through meaningful relationships. I look forward to strengthening this impact not only within our district, but around the world at large. For the Rotary year 2026-2027, our main area of focus is to provide clean water to the schools by providing standard boreholes with a good running water system. These are aligned with the Rotary International areas of focus.
With a new leadership team in place, the Rotary Club of Banjul is poised to continue bridging developmental gaps across the country. Mamna Buka, reporting for QTV News.
Next, we have international news. The world today marks the International Day of Cooperatives, highlighting the vital role cooperatives play in building peaceful, inclusive and sustainable societies. This report by Babakar Sise is narrated by Mamna Buka.
The International Day of Cooperatives is observed annually on the first Saturday of July, bringing together governments, development partners, cooperative organizations and communities to celebrate a people-centered business model that promotes inclusive and sustainable development. This year's theme, Cooperatives for a Peaceful World, highlights the important role cooperatives play in promoting dialogue, reducing inequality, and creating opportunities that foster stability and prosperity. Through democratic participation, shared ownership, and mutual support, cooperatives continue to offer practical solutions to many of the world's social and economic challenges. Across the globe, cooperatives operate in sectors such as agriculture, finance, housing, fisheries, transport, healthcare, education, and renewable energy. Collectively, they provide employment for millions of people while improving access to markets, financial services, and essential goods. In the Gambia, cooperatives remain a cornerstone of national development, supporting growth in agriculture, savings and credit, marketing, and small-scale enterprise. Cooperative credit unions in particular play a vital role in improving the welfare of workers while contributing to the country's economic development. Among the largest are the Gambia Teachers Union Cooperative Credit Union, the Gambia Police Force Cooperative Credit Union, and the Nawe Cooperative Credit Union, among others. These member-owned financial institutions provide affordable loans, promote a culture of saving, and help finance housing, education, and small businesses for thousands of members. By expanding access to financial services, they advance financial inclusion, stimulate investment, strengthen household incomes, and support job creation. Beyond the financial sector, farmers' cooperatives continue to enhance agricultural productivity by improving access to farming inputs, modern production techniques, and reliable markets. Through collective action, they enable farmers to increase output, secure better prices for their produce, and contribute to national food security. reinforcing the important role cooperatives play in building a resilient and inclusive Gambian economy. Women's and youth cooperatives are also playing an increasingly significant role in supporting entrepreneurship, creating employment opportunities, and strengthening household incomes. By pooling resources, sharing knowledge, and increasing their bargaining power, members contribute to stronger and more resilient communities. As the world celebrates the International Day of Cooperatives, the observance serves as a reminder that strengthening cooperatives in the Gambia will empower communities, expand economic opportunities, and contribute to a more peaceful, inclusive, and prosperous nation. Mam Nabuka, reporting for QTV News.
Up next is sports news. RMT Football Galaxy Academy triumphed in the Janjanbureh Under-17 tournament, winning on penalties against Berlin FC Academy after a competitive 1-1 draw in regulation time at the Janjanbureh football field. Mamadou Gajaga has more.
RMT Football Galaxy Academy are rejoicing after a 4-2 penalty shootout win against Berlin FC Academy at the Janjanbureh football field after a 1-1 draw in normal time. Ibrahima Jambang scored this fantastic goal after a beautiful control and run to give RMT the lead in the first half, which lasted until 5 minutes into the second half, when Modou Mak Toure equalized from the penalty spot after a teammate was brought down in the box. In an exciting penalty shootout which settled the stalemate between the two football academies, RMT Football Galaxy Academy's penalty takers appeared calmer and more composed than their opponents, and they converted all 4 of their spot kicks, which were beautifully executed. Berlin FC Academy had 2 of their penalties blazed high and wide, while the other 2 well struck. This is how Ibrahima Jambang, the goal scorer and overall best player of the tournament, and Malik Jamal Cisse, head coach of RMT, reacted to the win.
So we need your support. Wale mon mako in tournament civil ka organize jama fona siaral jama fona abo kumala bagale famule because need da jibe jama fona we have talented players but lack of support mon support soro I understand so ma like la program ka lo mo len jibe kan after maybe next year also fona like executive mule organize ya try ya organize correct.
So thank God that today we come to play the final and we are able to win the trophy with the help of God, and then with the boys trying very hard. From the first game we tried very hard, they did all their best. That is the first time of attending this type of league.
Bakari Y. Baji, the Minister of Youth and Sports, after whom the tournament was named, spoke about the importance of taking available opportunities.
Well, it's to take their training serious, you know, and then to stop trying to embark on the back way. In one of the speakers mentioned it, that it is ruining the career of young people. You see a very good star, but because he's in a hurry to reach stardom, they think that the easiest way is to embark on the back way to go to Europe. And then those that have even succeeded in crossing to Europe, they are not playing football because they become illegal citizens. Some of them perish on the way, others come back. So you want our young people, our young stars, to take their time to ensure that they also would grow to become who they want to be.
The Janjanbureh Under-17 tournament is gradually growing to be a competition which gives young players in the Central River region the opportunity to showcase their talents. Fode Conte, Vice President of the organizing committee, spoke about the tournament.
We started this tournament last year. It was successful this year also. This is the second edition. We were able to start the tournament in peace and end it in peace.
Football fans in the region are eagerly looking forward to next year. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News.
And before we end, here's a recap of the headlines. The Economic Community of West African States, Ecowas, held a field awareness campaign with stakeholders and officially launched its Ecowas School Clubs initiative in the Gambia. After months of intensive training, 15 officials from across West Africa have graduated from a regional fellowship aimed at strengthening preparedness for health emergencies. The Gambia Agriculture and Food Security Project under the Ministry of Agriculture handed over 13 cargo tricycles to women vegetable gardeners and food aggregators in the country. The Rotary Club of Banjul on Friday held its annual handover ceremony to honor its outgoing leadership and usher in a new leadership team while celebrating a year of impactful service and strengthening fellowship among members. In international news, the world today marks the International Day of Cooperatives, highlighting the vital role cooperatives play in building peaceful, inclusive and sustainable societies. That's all for this bulletin. You can join us tomorrow at 8 p.m. for the Week in Review with Mahmoud Mboj and Jul Denjai. Thanks for watching.